welcome back to Breaking Barriers. I am your host, Brisa de Angulo Lozada, and today I am joined by this wonderful person, Ruth Klein. Welcome so much to the show.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here. So great to be here.
So Ruth is a brand strategy and soul-centered performance. Tell us a little bit about what that's about.
Yeah. So everyone has a brand, whether they know it or not. Even 5-year-olds have a brand. There he goes again, yelling. Everyone has the brand. And so what I help my clients do is I do everything. I go internally. And I love the psychology of it. And I have a couple of degrees in psychology, clinical and spiritual psychology. And it's a beautiful combination to ask questions and to be curious and to see what comes up. And the idea is if I can go in there and help them find their spark again, and for some people, they never really felt that spark, and then help them illuminate that so that their voice is able to come out in a myriad of ways. That, to me, is why I do what I do.
That is absolutely beautiful. I would love to know a little bit about you beyond your title and your work. Like, we want to know you. Tell me, Ruth, beyond your title and your work, who are you?
Oh, just a matrix of different things.
Yes.
So when I was little, I used to walk in my sleep and talk in my sleep. And to this day, nothing's really changed much. I still love to walk around. I still love to talk. I was a dancer. I loved music when I was younger. And I grew up in a family where my parents were immigrants from Europe after the war. I learned from my perspective that life is very precious. Many voices were numbed or killed. Yeah. And I learned that, I remember one time I was complaining to my dad about something, and he would say, honey, if you can wake up in the morning and not feel pain, it's a good day. And I have never forgotten that. The other part of that that's part of who I am is my dad would tell me that, they came from a very large family in Europe. And his mom would go into the bedrooms and look at the beds. And if the children were not in there, she was very happy. Why is that? Because they weren't sick. And so I used that, I modified it, and my children, God bless them, their rooms were horrible. I closed the door. Thank goodness that they lived there and I don't. And I just said, thank you, God, they're healthy. And so I feel like there's a part of me that grew up both in the European style mindset, perception, and the American mindset and perception. And so as a result, when I was younger, I never felt that I fit in. And I didn't know why I didn't fit in. I had no idea. As I got older, I started to learn that we're all different and we all fit in. That was a big illuminator. Right. We all fit in the way that we are intended. And I believe that we are all divinely gifted, our talents, and I love to say our genius zone. And I do believe that we all have a genius zone, whether that might be putting together an architecture, putting together a bicycle, understanding people, being able to speak on a topic. We all have this genius zone. And so I have the honor of helping my clients find that genius zone.
That. Makes me, as you talk, it makes me think about a puzzle. And if you just get a little piece, it feels like it doesn't belong. Like, what is this mayhem and confusion? And you put all the puzzle there, and then you can see, oh, I do fit in. I have a specific moment, a specific place that without me, it wouldn't make sense. But you help it put the whole puzzle, and it's like, oh, this is where I fit.
Yes, absolutely. And it's so ironic that you would use puzzle, because what I find is that I ask questions of clients and I find their puzzle pieces. Right. And then I see their whole puzzle picture.
Yep.
I see it. And I have learned to sit on my hands, because I can easily overwhelm someone by sharing what I see for them from what they shared to me. It's not that I want to develop a character. Right. It's who they are, but they really haven't been able to see that vision. And so I literally sit on my hands and slowly allow them to open up to each of those beautiful, beautiful puzzle pieces.
That is beautiful. It makes me think about at one point in my life where things were really, really difficult, suicide attempts, all this stuff. There was one person in my life who believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself. Yes. And it seems that that's what you do in the lives that you come across, and you everything seems chaotic and disorganized, but I believe in you and I see the path through, and I will walk with you every step of the way. And what a beautiful mission, and what a beautiful, comforting thing to find you in this place, and then seeing all the possibilities that there are.
And that's it. We tend to look the other way. We don't really see the level of possibility that's available to each of us. Yeah. We look at this type of reality over here, which I can touch and I can see and I can feel, but I believe that the real reality, I can't see it, I can't feel it, I can't touch it, because that part of reality is where everything has been created. Right. And that's where our best ideas are downloaded. They're divinely gifted. Yeah. And we get the opportunity to either run with it or have fear around it or whatever that is. And my hope is that I can help them capture those divinely gifted downloads and help them bring it over here to be the best person that they want to be.
And many times people walk around feeling like those things that are different are the bad parts of you. But in reality, those things that are different, that make you feel like you don't fit out, is actually what stands you out and what brings it. And you can see that, and it's like, ooh, this is your spark, and you show the other side. And that's very exciting.
It is very exciting. And in branding, it's all about how are you different? How are you unique? Right. And so all those pieces way back when I did not feel that I fit in, that was part of who I am and my uniqueness, and those puzzle pieces that I wasn't really honoring. I was just going like that.
Yep. Like I wanted to hide them, but that's exactly what you needed to shine.
Absolutely. I
love that.
But without a guide, without someone there to, as you said so beautifully, to believe in you, to guide you, to, I often tell my clients, hold on to my belief of your power, of your vision when you don't believe it. And I will hold it for you until you get to the place where you believe it and own it. It's one thing to believe it, right?
Yes.
It's a whole different ballgame to actually own it.
That is amazing. Is there, looking back at your journey, is there any moment that you felt like you had to break through, either mentally, emotionally, situationally, to help you get where you are?
So, because my parents did not, I learned this a long time ago, because my parents did not speak English, really. They didn't know the culture. I remember asking my dad about a math homework, and I got every single one wrong. And I decided at, 7, 8 years old, that I need to do things on my own. I've got to learn and move forward and do things on my own if I want to move forward. At a young age, that was the biggest thing. And I've learned along the way, for me, it was very hard to ask for help because I was so used to doing it on my own. And then as life has a tendency to show up in ways that we don't expect or necessarily like, I thought, I can't do this alone. I need to ask for help. And that was huge because there was this outpouring of such love. And I mean, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. As little as having to have a C-section and having my friends call each other and make sure that we had dinner every night and brought it over to things that during a divorce, all those stages, it was the community. It was that piece that helped me get through so much. And so we are not an island. And for the longest time, I thought I was on the island, not because I was powerful, but because internally I thought, if I'm going to make it happen, I need to do it. And that still exists. However, it can coexist with community.
Yeah, it's community. It comes over and over again, like how important it is to build a community, because those are the people who sustain you when you can't go through. And how important it is to reach out, because many times we're like, oh, I'm alone and I have no one. And it only takes that effort to reaching out, and you realize that you're not alone, that there's a lot of people that want to walk with you, but maybe don't know how to reach to you. And when you reach out and you ask for it, it's like, wow, this is really cool. And it becomes a very enjoyable way of living, knowing that you don't have to walk alone. You can. You have the potential, but you don't have to. And it makes life so much easier and so much enjoyable.
So much more joyful. I know that when people reach out to me, I thank them for reaching out to me. And when I realized that, I thought, okay, I'm going to reach out to others.
And it's hard.
It is very hard.
But once you do it, you're so thankful you did.
Yes.
And what's so cool is that when someone reaches out and asks your help, it enriches you too. So like both persons get enriched. And many times we, because of our lifestyles and because of how children have been raised, of like you are seen and not talk or whatever, we don't want to be a burden to anyone else. But we don't realize that when we reach out, we're not a burden. We're enriching that person too. And so it's like it's a win-win. There's no like, it's a having more. The more you give, the more you ask, the more you get, the more you have in relationships.
Absolutely. And there's research that says longevity and health requires community. And it makes perfect sense, because the person that's alone, I don't care what age they are, or they feel lonely all the time, that is, that harms, I think, the way they see the world and their mental health.
And healing happens through community.
And healing happens through community and time.
Can you take us to a defining moment where you realized that something had to change and that this is what you were going to dedicate your life to?
In what I do, I work a lot with adults, and many times the hidden gems are caused by lack of self-confidence, that somewhere along the line that happened. And so it became a defining moment for me when I realized that's one end of the scale, the adults, but there's the other end, which are the children. And so I've become an advocate for children and parents. In fact, the book I'm writing now is a parenting book.
That's so awesome.
And it's helping parents reparent themselves and looking at the triggers that Susie causes and Jamie causes, and causes. And then let's talk about it. Let's interpret that.
Yeah.
What does that look like? What does a harmonious family unit look like? Whether there's doesn't matter what the makeup is.
Right.
A mom that's in the house with the children, just a dad that's in the house with the children, a grandparent that's in the house, an aunt, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And so that became a defining moment when I started a nonprofit and had it for 22 years called the Self-Esteem Council. And we literally went into high schools and started with sophomore girls, and the counselors chose them. And these young ladies could have gone anyway. And we were with them less than 10 hours in 5 months. And many, the truancy rate, they were starting to go to school, that went down. The relationship with their mom, that was usually the person in the family, got better. They even became active as juniors in high school. I wasn't active as a junior. I was shy. Wow. And it made, they went looking for summer jobs. And then we started working with the men, with the boys. And that went on for 22 years.
Life-changing.
Life-changing.
And it shows, I mean, you say 10 hours. That's like impressive. But it shows how important it is to have someone in your corner who can help you visualize the possibilities.
Absolutely.
Because many of us, if not all of us, are walking with so many traumas. And what trauma does is it prevents you from seeing the future, from visualizing, from dreaming, and having someone next to you helping you see and visualize and dream of the possibilities is that spark that you needed to set everything in motion.
It's true. And there are two things that really made a difference in addition. Positive reinforcement. Because these girls were used to getting into trouble. And so I would tell the mentors, no matter what they do, don't focus on that behavior. Focus on the good behavior. And we were very focused on thanking them and giving them positive reinforcement. Yes. And I remember I was talking, and one gal was with another gal. And then I called on her. And she was, what? But instead of having attitude, and for me being triggered, I was neutral. Just like a song, just neutral. And I asked her the question. At the end of that session, she came up to me and said, "That was the best session. I can't wait until next month." Aww. Now, this was the third session. The first two, she was... And the third one, I thought, I'm just going to call on her. But the key there, positive reinforcement and curiosity and non-judgment.
Yes,
no
absolutely.
Attitude. Yeah. And so that is huge.
That is so important.
That's huge. And those are the skills that I also, talk to parents about.
That is amazing. And you work with parents, and something that we constantly see is that those things that we see as the kids are doing bad or like it's bothering, it's not really the action. It's just touching a wound that we have inside and that we are reacting to that wound. And if we don't heal that wound, those things are still going to trigger us and our relationships are going to break. And so how important it is to think that moving forward, like healing and changing, is not only moving forward, but it's looking inward and working inward, and things start changing. When you start focusing on who you are and how to become the best version of yourself, everything around starts changing.
Absolutely. And I think I love that. And the important piece there is not to don't make yourself wrong. Yeah. Don't make yourself bad. Don't make yourself, I'm a terrible mom. I hear that all the time. Oh my gosh, I said XYZ or I did XYZ. Yeah. Am I going to be a terrible mom? What's going to happen to my children? Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. And know that you're doing the best you can with the limited knowledge you have.
Exactly.
and learning more about what makes you tick, exactly what you said. What is it about those triggers that came before you had children, and
Right.
first, and identify them and just think of them. What I like to do is I like to think of them as a treasure trove. It's like bringing a flashlight and looking at all these treasures of gold and diamonds and silver and whatever else you love. And you get, wow, I can see that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
But you first have to illuminate what that is, but not toss it and hit it and be mean to it. It's like,
no,
thank you. Thank you. Because here's the deal. Every trigger on the other side of it is a gift.
Yes,
is such a gift.
Because it is through that you become the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
You grow through that. And how important it is to have compassion. Because we're not going to move forward if we're our own enemy. We're going to move forward if we have that compassion and use every opportunity to grow, to learn more. Okay, I acknowledge, maybe I didn't react the best way. Let's try to figure out why. And how can I learn to do it different? And I think that is such a crucial part of what you do every day with the people that come to your life, of feeling, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm screwing up. I don't know what to do. And you're like, okay. It's going to be okay. Let's see the pieces of puzzle and we will figure out together. And you will shine with that shine that we all have inside, but we have been scared to let it shine.
Yes. And whether it's in business, whether it's in parenting, it just doesn't matter. It's, we are who we are. We're human.
Yeah.
And it's part of it. So that was the most illuminating when I realized that there's the adults over here, but then to balance it, there needs to be advocacy for the children, beautiful. The parents over here.
I love that. So Ruth, it has been such a pleasure. Ruth at Brand Strategy and Soul Center Performance. If there's people in the audience who want to connect with you, to want to reach out to you, what is the best way they can do that?
I would love for them to go to my website, ruthklein.com. And by the way, there's a free gift. It's a guide for 5 steps to productivity. Because at the end of the day, if underneath productivity is momentum, and if you don't have the momentum, if you're not taking action, that can become an issue.
Yeah, you're stuck. And something that I constantly talk about is that healing is not something that you fix like from one day to another. Healing is a lifestyle. And every day you have to make a choice of how do I live today, and being very meaningful and purposeful with everything that you do that is pointing you to where you want to be. And I love what you were saying, because it reflects that idea of saying every action that we take has to have that purpose and meaningful, because otherwise we just can survive. And we're not in this world just to survive.
Exactly.
We have one life, and let's live it to the fullest, to the brightest, and shine as much as we can.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Ruth, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much for what you do, and please keep shining and helping others shine.
Thank you. Same to you. I love what you're doing. I love your history, your story. It's you, and it's just very inspirational.
Thank you so much.